Hi guys, welcome back to the Mina Does Art Stuff YouTube channel. My name is Mina and on this channel we do art stuff. So today I am here with another palette pour video for you guys. So I showed in a recent art haul that I got this 24 colour set of botanical watercolour set from Holbein, and I really like this set not only because I enjoy botanical painting, or rather like loose floral painting, but I also really like this set because it doesn't come with a white or a black. A lot of the other Holbein sets come with a black, and I don't really use black in watercolours, at least not like a traditional ivory black or lamp black or anything like that. Anyway, so this set comes with 24 colours. The palette that I have to put it in is a 28 well palette, and I really love these palettes. This one, they're very inexpensive and they work really well. They have lots of lots of wells for the different colours and a good amount of mixing space. Now actually what I've done is, this is like a thumb holder. This bit flips up and you can stick your thumb through it to hold the palette while you're painting. I don't really do that, so I've just used some blue tack to close it up so I can use this as a mixing area. Now this is a 24 colour set, this is 28 wells, so I went ahead and picked out 4 other colours that I already had of Holbein. I had a few Holbein colours, not too many, but I had a few, and I wanted to add these ones to the set because these are colours I really like. Quinacridone Gold, which I've already mentioned, is a colour I really love. Peacock Blue, which is kind of like a turquoisey blue colour, similar to a phthalo turquoise. Indigo, another blue that I absolutely love. And Permanent Alizarin Crimson. There is a colour in here called Carmine, which is, the pigment is PR83, and PR83 is the original alizarin crimson colour, and that's known to be a very fugitive colour. So I wanted to have the permanent version as well in the palette. That way, if it's something that's going to potentially go on a wall, or I might potentially sell it as like original artwork, then I'll be sure to use the permanent version. But if I'm playing around in a sketchbook or doing like practice or whatever else that I'm not planning on selling, or maybe it's work that's only going to be scanned and be digital art, then I can use either version and it won't be a problem. I did actually do little swatches of some of the colours based on the colours that are in the palette and other colours I was thinking of adding, to see if I had something that was already, you know, that was different, or maybe it was already pretty similar to what's in the palette. So for example, these are the yellows that come in the palette, and these are some of the yellows I had. So the Permanent Yellow Deep is very similar to the Cad Yellow Deep. The Aurelian is very similar to Imidazalone Yellow, which is in the palette, in the set. But Quin Gold was very different, so I include that one. And then here's Carmine and Crimson Lake, which are in this set, and that's the Permanent Alizarin Crimson, which is very similar to Carmine in hue because it's meant to be the permanent version of that colour. But like I said before, I want to have both in. So Vandyke Brown and Paynes Grey are in this set, and then I had Sepia and Indigo. Sepia and Vandyke Brown are very similar, so I didn't need to add Sepia as well, but the Indigo is quite different from the Paynes Grey, so I decided to add Indigo. Plus I just really like a really nice deep indigo blue. And then Pyrrole Scarlet and Vermillion are in the set, but I also had a Scarlet Lake, but again that's very similar to both of these, and I think actually mixing these two together would get a very similar colour to Scarlet Lake, so I left that one out. And so that's how I ended up with these 4 colours to add to this palette. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to reorder the colour selection, because this is in a very different order than I would normally have my palette set up as. So I'm just going to rejig all of that, and then we'll be back to do the pour. I'm just going to lay it all out, and then I'll talk through why I've picked the colours, picked the order that I have. I basically go in like a chromatical order from yellow all the way round to my darks at the other side. Okay, so this is how I have the palette set up. I've started out with the yellows, to the orangey reds, to the pinky reds, to the purples, to the blues, greens, and then my earth tones at the end here. Now normally I would have Paynes Grey at the end here with my neutrals and my darks, but I quite like the idea of having this section as the blues and then having this section of the palette for greens, and then the earth tones, just trying to like section off the palette so it makes it easier for mixing. Sorry, my voice is going a little bit hoarse. So now I'm going to go ahead and fill up the palette. Okay, so that's how the palette now looks. It looks all nice and colourful and bright and cheery. So I'm going to leave this to rest for a couple of days so it can harden up, and then we'll come back, and the latter part of this video in the next part of this video I'm going to be doing the swatching of this palette, so we'll create a swatch card for it, and then I might even do a little sample painting and see how the colours work. Now these Holbein watercolours are Japanese watercolours, they're from Japan, and Eastern watercolours are very different, well, not very different, they are slightly different to Western watercolours. These don't have any ox gall in them, and ox gall or is derived from animals, but it's a kind of dispersant which allows the paint to flow. So they don't flow as much as other paints do, which means that when you paint with them, they kind of stay put where you put them down. I mean, they will flow a little bit, but not as much as, say, like the Core watercolours or Daniel Smith's even. So they will work a little bit differently, but it makes it really easy for beginners to work with because it's a little bit more controllable. Also, it's really good for more like precise work as well, so which is why they're probably really good for botanicals. But these are really good quality paints. Like I said, these are also quite expensive to get in the UK, so I was able to get a good price on them by ordering straight from Japan by this company called Baiyi, I believe. So if I can, I will link it below. It's kind of, they act as like an intermediary, and then so they kind of buy it on your behalf and then they post it to you, sort of thing. So you pay them and they deal with that. It worked out pretty well. It got here pretty quick as well once it got shipped, and yeah, it all worked out fine, and it ended up being significantly cheaper than had I tried to buy this set here in the UK. So like I said, I will try and link that below this video. Otherwise, I will be back in a couple of days to do the swatching.